Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Can you tell me your first name?
My first name is Margaret.
Okay, Margaret, and I have arrived here through the magic of a teleporter beam, so I don't quite know where I am. So, can you give me some clues so I can guess where I might be?
Well, let's see. How about Feet Don't Fail Me Now?
Okay, feet don't fail me now. Okay.
How about Send in the Clown?
Ooh, send in the clowns. Okay.
And how about a third clue? Exhibit A.
Those are tough clues. You've got me beat there. Do you want to tell us your full name, your position, and where we're at?
My full name is Margaret Lynn Osfeld, and I am the senior curator at the Montgomery Museum of Fine Arts in Montgomery, Alabama.
Wonderful. And we are here today because why?
Well, we're here today so that we can talk a little bit about the work of Zelda Fitzgerald in our collection.
Wonderful.
Here in Montgomery.
And you've got, I see here in the rotunda where we're at, you have two of her most famous paintings. I'm going to shift the camera horizontal here so I can get a little better perspective on these. But on your left is a painting called Ballerinas.
Yes.
And on your right is a painting that most folks will recognize because it's been on the cover of several books called Circus.
Right, correct.
Now, these two are about how many pieces of Zelda's art that you have?
These are two paintings that came to us directly from Zelda, and we now own 30 pieces of her work.
Wonderful. And if I wanted to see what exactly was in your collection, can I do that?
You can. It's the teleporter of the internet. Right?
Okay.
If you would like to go onto our website at mmfa.org, go to the Search the Collection feature, and you can search for Zelda's name, and you will find the 30 works by her that we have pictured and described.
Great.
Yep.
Now let me ask you, what was the importance of the museum to Zelda herself?
You know, it was an opportunity, I think, to be engaged with the art life of the city at the time. Of course, at the time that she was alive, it was very restrictive in environment. The museum was not that well developed in its collection, but there were opportunities to take classes. There were opportunities to show. I think that I don't know that she took classes, I don't believe that she did, but I do believe she made friends with people who were involved with the museum and with the art scene in Montgomery.
Great.
As a matter of fact, one of the paintings that we own now was actually given to us as a gift upon his death by the artist Charles Shannon, which tells me that she was engaged with other artists here in Montgomery who were also engaged with the museum.
Great. And then when the museum exhibited her work in 1942, and that story is told in the book that you're holding there, which is Zelda by Nancy Milford,
Yes.
a very famous biography. That would not have been in this building, right?
No, that would have been downtown, and it actually would have been in the first museum, which was a renovated schoolhouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the museum has really expanded a lot in that, well, it's been almost 80 years, but
Yes.
but it's the Montgomery Museum of Fine Arts is a huge institution here in town. Can you give us just a little sense in your own training of the significance of these two portraits?
Well, she definitely had a significant ability as an artist and a designer. These works really are interpreted, and have been interpreted by a lot of scholars, as kind of reflecting her exposure to the art scene in France, specifically in the 1920s. And when she was involved with ballet there, she met a number of the Russian constructivist painters who were involved with. Okay. Yeah.
All right, we had to switch gears a little bit, so
Yeah.
my apologies again
No
about the
problem.
technical difficulties.
Yeah.
But you were telling us about the Russian constructivists.
Right, especially in the painting like Circus on the left, you really see with all of the angular emphasis on the design with the kind of the way that it kind of circles around, and the shapes are more important than uh, really reproducing the human figure. It's done more as an element of still life or design rather than as a replication of people dancing. It is more what we would think of as an emotional kind of composition where the feet and the musculature is really enlarged. That's really typical for her work.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of discussion about, her mental state and her mindset affecting the way her work looks.
And there's a lot of connection between this one in particular, Ballerinas, and her
Mhm.
novel Save Me the Waltz, which is
Right.
often considered the
Mhm.
greatest novel in American literature about ballet
Mhm.
because it's so specific about it.
Right, because she was so exposed to that
Right.
herself and had experienced the difficulties of that. Yeah.
So let me ask you this: How do you have a lot of tourists come in and ask you specifically about Zelda?
We do have people call us more and ask, are her works on view? And we usually try to keep a few works up, but they have to be the paintings because we have the watercolors are fairly fragile and are subject to light exposure.
Sure.
So usually we try to keep at least one or two of her paintings up in the museum so that people will have an opportunity to see them.
Great. And one final question: the what is her importance to the museum here in Montgomery? Would you say?
Well, we have 30 works in the collection, which is wonderful, and we do utilize them. We do small installations of them from time to time. And she's an Alabama artist. She's an important native artist of our state. And from that perspective, we would maintain and support her work no matter what. But of course, she's also a figure of international repute. So there are people from all over the world who know who she is. And if they know we have paintings, they do ask to see them. So it's wonderful for us to be in a position to preserve this work because we're a museum of her hometown. And I think that makes it even that much more important.
Great. Well, thank you very much for your time. I
You're
appreciate
very
it.
welcome. Thanks for coming today.
Well,